Hi, my name is Chris Baker with Baker DMM, and this is our video coaching newsletter. Topic of today's newsletter is going to be non-compliant family members. And before I jump into our discussion, I wanted to share with you a statistic that I recently noticed. And it states that in a study conducted by Lawrence Schomburg and Daphne Gaines in 1999, the only national study that attempted to define the scope of elder abuse, the vast majority of abusers were family members. And in this case, they think it's approximately upwards of 90%. And that's very discouraging for people that are aging, that are getting into their elder years, that need help more than ever, when it's the people closest to you that are the ones taking advantage of you. And so, the problem that we're facing are family members that should not be handling money, are not in the best position to be handling money. And the solution is having a financial services firm or company like ours, Baker DMM, being able to act as a independent third party that's professionally qualified to help manage the day-to-day financial tasks. And a great comparison is just like with your health. I mean, if you have a problem with your heart or your vision or your bones, I mean, you're going to go to an orthopedic. You're not going to, say, oh, well, I broke my leg and I'm not feeling well, so I'm going to have my daughter, create operate on my leg and, make a cast. No, you're going to go to a qualified professional doctor, and they're going to help you, fix whatever issues you're having. And just like with your finances, we need to change our ways of thinking and thinking, okay, I need help. I'm not going to be able to manage the day-to-day financial tasks. So now, instead of pushing that off on my family or close friends, people that should have my best interest but might not, I'm going to hire an independent third party to professionally manage my books or financially monitor my accounts. And so with that, I have actually an email discussion that I had with an elder care attorney this year, and really it goes into, it's a very complex case that of a client of ours. I could probably make a whole separate video on that at another time. But really what happened is this woman in her mid-late 70s, over the last few years, the elder care attorney thinks that this woman's been financially abused by her live-in boyfriend. I supposedly, maybe even a couple $100,000 worth, $200,000 maybe, that people have taken from this woman without her real proper authorization. And then the woman got sick last year, and her daughter, because she was her daughter, was able to go to court and get emergency conservatorship. And at that point, the daughter started handling the finances. And it's important to note that the daughter and the boyfriend do not get along. They basically hate each other, which makes this even more difficult. And unfortunately, the daughter was not prepared to handle the finances, and she just made things even worse. She opened a conservator account, and when we finally got involved, going through and just in a couple of days of reviewing these accounts, we had noticed $30,000 that went into the accounts and over $30,000 that had went out of the accounts. And some of that money was accounted for through receipts or descriptions, but then there was quite a bit that had no explanation or no description. And there were no financial statements. Typically, if you go through, if you're a conservator, particularly if emergency, you're going to be required to help provide financial statements for the court. In this case, we didn't see any. And there were missing belongings, jewelry, and clothing. There was, we checked her credit report, and there's $20,000 due to collectors. A stack of bills, 8 inches tall, of various health bills and utility bills and all sorts of stuff. That still, and another important note is that when we finally got connected with this woman through the elder care attorney, they pretty much all of her money had been spent. She has assets, but it's not liquid. It's just all of her liquid. All of her cash had been spent. And, she's very blessed to have very, very wonderful close friends that have been taking care of her and to help her get through her day-to-day financial bill payments and just keep her afloat. Because if she didn't have that, she would have been wiped out. Because she was already getting letters from the mortgage company, you need to pay your bills, and it's a very terrible situation. Could have been even more terrible or in a disaster. So after we analyzed all this and started keeping up with all the, getting organized and kind of making sense out of the chaos, we reached out to the daughter, and, at first things were fine, but then pretty shortly after, our conversation, getting into it, we started telling her, hey, you need to send us, if there are checks from the rental properties, you need to send that to us, you need to mail us our bills. We're handling everything now because we're power of attorney. You no longer are in that role. We're sharing it, with a backup. The good friend of theirs is now the backup. I'm the primary power of attorney. And then telling her all this, she became agitated. She got frustrated because it's her mom, and she was doing it. And in her mind, she wasn't doing anything wrong. So she became very non-compliant and was not listening to our requests and not providing the documentation that we required. And, in any situation, we're always going to try to work with the family. And I mean, that's the goal, is to work with everybody and everybody get along. But in times when that doesn't happen, well, then we just have to keep moving on because they're the ones slowing us down. And in this case, we did keep moving. And we had to, through various other means, we've been having to try to recoup, these documents and assets from this woman, from the woman's daughter. And, really, at that point, we cannot work with the family or the other family members because our client is the elder woman, and those are the interests that we have at heart, and that's who we're going to protect and do whatever we need to do to protect them. And really, I think that's about it. Really, I mean, in the end, I mean, our job is to bring peace of mind to the senior, the client, the elder who is in need of financial help. And we hope that all family members get on board and also have the best interests of their mom or dad or grandmother or grandfather. And we can all work together to make this easier for everybody. And if not, well, they're just going to have to get out of the picture and let us do our job to make sure we're taking care of our clients and bring them peace of mind. So, in a brief recap, the issue was, when family members are non-compliant. And really the solution is to eliminate that. If there's going to be issues with the families, if you ever need help, you look in your community, look around, reach out to different professionals, company like ours, wherever, and try to find independent third-party professionals, particularly if they're certified public accountants, people that are licensed, insured, registered, and that can provide these services. Particularly daily money management, financial monitoring services for your loved one. And then you eliminate all of that, issues for the most part, or at least you should. So if you found this video helpful or interesting, please feel free to share it with your family or friends, whoever you might think might benefit. If you ever have a question that you'd like me to try to answer, feel free to submit that through our website. You can go to the top, request an appointment, and then you can submit your information through there, and I'll try to get to it in a timely manner. And additionally, if you'd like to get my help personally with a specific question or an issue that you're facing, the quickest ways to book an appointment is to go to our website, www.bakerdmm.com. Scroll to the top of the webpage, click Request an Appointment, submit all your information, and I'll reach out to you within 24 to 48 hours. And I will talk to you all soon.